Hi parents, good morning. Welcome to today's parent webinar. So glad you're here today. Today we're talking about autism and aggression. What is he trying to tell me? Parents, I want you to think about the last time your kid on the spectrum had a really intense behavior. One that lasted 20 or 30 minutes or maybe more, right? Do you have it in mind? Now, I bet you that the first thing that came to mind was the behavior itself, what it looked like, right? Maybe there was crying, pushing, hitting, biting. Maybe it was really intense and he threw the tablet and it broke. Okay? As parents, you're really good at describing what the behavior looked like. Today, we're going to talk about the missing piece, something that's overlooked. Today, I want to challenge you to take a different perspective, and we're going to analyze your child's tantrum or aggression from a behavioral perspective. Instead of just looking at this piece, the behavior, today we're going to zoom out and look at the big picture. Parents, behavior happens in context. By analyzing what happened before and after the behavior, we can then begin to understand what's feeding or reinforcing the challenging behavior. Okay? Change the environment, change the behavior. Let's talk about it. Before we begin, hi, my name is Celeste. I'm a behavior analyst who's worked with kids on the spectrum and their families for over 13 years. I coach and teach parents and how to teach their child meaningful everyday skills. Because these are the skills that stick and maintain over time, right? No one-to-one therapist required. Okay, let's jump in. I have my slides on this screen, so I'm looking here and looking at both. So let's jump in. Parents, I want you to get curious, okay? And instead of asking ourselves, how can I stop this behavior? I want us to pause and instead ask yourself, what is this behavior trying to tell me? Okay? Because the truth is, all behaviors, even those challenging, aggression, eloping, property destruction, crying, all these behaviors are trying to communicate something to us. And it's our job as parents, as teachers, as clinicians to identify what that something is. And that is the first step to addressing these challenging behaviors. Okay, and that goes into my next point, which is behaviors are a sign of a communication deficit. Okay, so when challenging behaviors are high, it's because communication skills are low. Our kids are trying to tell us something and they don't have the words, the gestures, or the means to be able to tell us what that something is, okay? And vice versa, when communication skills are high, that's when we see behaviors go down, okay? So that's the importance of communication in reducing challenging behaviors. We want to teach our kids functional and safe ways to get their needs met. Okay, teaching them, hey, big kid, you don't have to cry. You don't have to hit me or bite me or push your sister to get what you want. All you got to do is tell me, right? If not vocally, then through gestures. If not through gestures, through icon, through a picture exchange. If not through there, then maybe through a sign like ASL or even using a electronic communication device. So there are many ways to teach our kids how to get their needs met. Behaviors are a sign of a communication deficit. For whatever reason, our kids are not able to vocalize or communicate what they're trying to say. And this communication deficit is a criteria of autism. So it's no surprise that sometimes challenging behaviors are present. Imagine not being able to say what you're trying to say and the people around you are getting it wrong. There's a big loss of control there, a lot of feelings of uncertainty. and unpredictability. That can feel very scary for our kids on the spectrum. Imagine not being able to confidently communicate what you want, right? And the adults, especially your parents in your life who you trust and love, even they don't get it right a lot of the time. So parents, let's continue. Step 1 in addressing challenging behaviors is ask yourself, what is he trying to tell me? Okay, and we're going to do this through 2 ways, 2 steps, 2 sub-steps. Okay, so here on the next slide, I want you to ask yourself what happened before the aggression, and then what happened after the aggression. Parents, really writing it down. So it's tempting to observe it and can identify or trying to analyze what is he trying to say. But I want you to refrain from that impulse. Pull out your phone, pull out a notebook, and write down A, B, C. Write down B, the behavior in the middle, the hitting, the pushing, the aggression, and really zoom out. Ask yourself, what happened before? Oh, before that, my son asked if he can have some fruit snacks, and I said no. He tried to pull it down from the cupboard. I said no, and I put it away. B, the behavior happened, and after the behavior, sometimes I give it to him, right? Or maybe his dad gave it to him. Okay, or maybe he got a different snack after the fruit snacks. And so once you have these data pieces, really, the ABC in your phone, you can start to observe patterns in your child's behavior. And you see, oh, wow, I noticed that in A, usually before the behavior, something is denied. And then after, I give it. Or maybe you might notice a different pattern, like, oh, I noticed not really a tangible item that my child wants, but it's more like nothing's really happening in the A before the behavior, and after, I give a lot of attention. Maybe I attend to my child. Okay, maybe I yell at him. I say, no, we don't do that to mom, right? And you start to identify, I think I know what he's trying to communicate. Okay, the more examples you have of writing these instances down, the more confident you're going to be able to identify what your child is trying to say or communicate through his behaviors. Okay, that was a lot. Parents, thumbs up if you're still with me. I commend you. Let's keep going. I know this can be kind of dense, but follow along. I promise we'll kind of, reveal the pieces together.